This is how I read a different book every single day in grad school. I didn't. But in all seriousness, I did not read every single page of every single book that I was assigned in grad school, because that's not how nonfiction is supposed to be read. Instead, I used 4 specific tactics to make sure that I synthesized all of the important information in these books, and that I was coming in ready to contribute and ready to add these books to the footnotes of my own research. And this included my personal favorite tactic of using the index of the book in order to find all of the important information that you need. But because that specific tactic supplements the other 3, I'm gonna save it for the end of this video, so definitely stick around for that. Now the first step is super easy because the author has typically already done this for us. What you're gonna do is open up your book to the content section, and you are going to write out this entire thing in your notebook as your outline. This is gonna give you a good flow of the author's thought process, and it's also gonna prime you for the information that you're about to take in. See, unlike fiction books, which are structured to have a narrative flow, non-fiction books are designed to be referenced later. And so there's no need to reinvent the wheel with your outline. Just go into the content section and copy exactly what the author has put in here. Then move on to step 2. I like to call this thesis statement scumming. So basically what you want to do is go to each section in your chapter and scan the first and the last sentences in order to find the main point that the author makes. Skip past all the anecdotes, skip past all the data. You really just want the primary points that the author is making. Once you have that down, then you can go back and look at that data, look at those anecdotes if you need to in order to understand the text better. Now, personally, I would only go back and do this if I knew that we were covering specific chapters in the book, because if we were discussing the book as a whole, then really what was a lot more important than how the author justified their particular point was the sources that they used. So your third step is going to be to tie the points that the author makes to those specific sources that they've included in the book. Footnotes are your best friend here. This is kind of a kooky example, but let's say that the author tells you that the best way ever to make money is by selling pickled eggs off the side of Highway 50 in rural Nevada. And let's say that they justify that point with an article from the Harvard Review Journal. What you're gonna do is go into your outline under your section that says best way to make money. You're gonna put a little line that says selling pickled eggs on Highway 50, and then in parentheses next to that, I would just go ahead and write Harvard Business Review Journal. That way, when it comes up to the author's sources, you are going to be super on top of things when it comes to tying back what the author said to the sources that they used. In fact, the author derived their thesis from the Harvard Business Review Journal. Now, this final and 4th tactic is the thing that's actually gonna make you look like an academic superstar in your seminar discussions. And it is so easy because it leverages one of the most underappreciated parts of a book, which is the index. There is a very good chance that you are reading a book related to your class. So for example, this is called From Reliable Sources, and it talks about writing academic texts in both STEM and the humanities. So let's say that I was in a class about academic writing in the humanities as my grad seminar. What I can do is go into the index and find the word humanities right there. And this is gonna tell me every single page where the author mentions that word. So what I can do is go back into the book onto each of those pages and pull out the point that the author is making that most directly relates to my class. Then I can stick those in my notes, and I will be more than prepared to go into my seminar discussion with relevant material to what we're talking about. So this was a pretty quick video today, but it really is that easy. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, and you especially don't need to go through and read every single word of every single page in an academic book, because that's not what people in academia are doing. You just want to take the author's outline, make sure that you understand the key points that they're making, and then go through and link those to the particular sources that they're using, and then in order to have especially relevant context, just go through that index and pull out the keywords that you're looking for. That's going to set you up to be super ready for your discussions in class, and you are going to be more than prepared to go through the daily readings that are given to you in graduate school.